Have you guys been following this Air India plane crash that happened earlier this week or like late last week? But it's been in the news all week. It's been on social media all week of this airplane that went up with 242 passengers and then immediately went right back down and burst into a ball of fire. 241 people were pronounced dead, along with like 30 others on the ground. But there's one lone survivor. There's one guy sitting in seat 11A, right by the emergency exit, and he was able to escape because he said where his part, the part of the plane that went down where he was sitting, the emergency door had broke, and he was able to get out his seat and crawl out. And then there's footage of him walking with, white shirt, a little bit of cuts and scrapes on his face. But he literally walked away from the crash and walked to the. A lot of people are saying that this is fake. They don't believe he was on the plane. They don't believe that this miracle could actually happen. But then it got me thinking: are we really paying attention to miracles that happen in our lives? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of times where I should have been dead or I shouldn't be here. And one thing in particular stood out in my mind. I was in a really bad car accident at the turn of the century in 2000. My car literally flipped off the expressway at excessive speeds. I fell asleep behind the wheel, and I woke up and I tried to gain control of my car, and I spun out on the expressway doing 80 miles an hour. And as I'm trying to get the wheel, the car straight, the next thing I know, I'm headed straight down a mountain on the side of the expressway. Trees everywhere, and it's like the middle of the night. It's like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, and it's dark. And I'm flying down this mountain on the side of the expressway, and I'm stepping on the brake to try to slow the car down. And the car is like 80 miles an hour, and 85, and then 90, and it's getting faster and faster because I'm realizing that the hill or the mountain is so steep that as I'm braking, the tires are locking up, but on this dirt road, it's not catching any traction, and it's just shooting down like a bullet. Now, mind you, I don't have a seatbelt on. I have a bunch of DJ equipment in the car because I was coming from a gig, and I'm in a Toyota Camry. I think it was like a 1997. It doesn't matter what year, but I'm in the freaking death trap, and I'm flying down this mountain, and trees are so close to the car because I have the windows down. It's the middle of summertime, and the trees were so close to the car that they were flying by the window, and the branches were smacking me in the face because they were so close to the car. And I kept thinking, if I hit one of these trees, I'm not going to make it. Because I'm doing now, the speedometer is like 100, 105, 110. The car is going faster and faster. It seems like I'm in a situation that I cannot get out of at all. A lot of people say that when they, they're about to die, their life flashes before their eyes. But my brain turned into a supercomputer. I'm always thinking, I'm always trying to figure out ways out of things. And my brain started to try to imagine different ways I could do things to get out of the situation. It's like, don't turn the wheel, because just keep going straight. So if you turn left, you might hit a tree. And if you turn right, you might hit a tree. And, what can you do? You can't do this, you can't do that. My brain literally went through a million scenarios in less than a second. And it dinged like a microwave oven would beat. It was like, bing, you're dead. That's the only solution it came up with. You're dead. Because I could see death. There was no way out. And just at that instant, all I could do was just yell for my life. I literally just gripped the wheel and yell as loud as I could in pure terror. And as I was yelling, the car slowed down gradually, came to a stop like it was at a red light. It didn't jerk or anything, just came to a nice gradual stop and turned off. Music was still playing. I had the radio blasting, but the car just turned off. And I'm still yelling. I'm like, ah. And I started looking around like, because my brain was trying to process what happened. And I heard a guy yell, "Are you all right down there?" And it kind of snapped me back to reality. And I went to go open the door, and I hit a tree. It was right beside the car, and I squeezed out. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he was like, "I'm coming down to help you." And I was like, "I'm coming up." And I looked, and the car stopped directly in front of this huge tree. Just right in front of it. The headlights were still on, and I could see this tree. And I couldn't explain why the car stopped. I made my way up the hill. The gentleman made his way down. He helped me up. He drove me, back home. And that next morning, I went with AAA back to the crash site. And when I got to the crash site, now it's daytime, I could see the tire tracks on the road. I could see where it went off the road. Funny thing is, the expressway has like a guardrail. And right where the car went off, there was a break in the guardrail. So my car spun around and went right through that break. And then we all looked over the edge to see, and you see the forest, you see the trees, but you see my tire tracks, and they're curving all the way down. I thought I was going straight, but they're curving. And right beside the tire tracks was a line of trees curving right with the tire tracks. There was trees everywhere, all over the place, but right beside those tire tracks was trees curving. And we all looked at that, and then they looked at me and said, "I'm looking at a dead man." And I got very emotional, like, "Don't say that." But nobody could explain it. He was like, "You was in that car, you survived." Funny thing about it, the car had minimal damage. I was thinking about this man with minimal damage to his face. The car had 4 flat tires, and the radio antenna was bent back. That was it. And ever since that day, I have lived my life with a different perspective. When you go through something like that, anything is possible. I don't judge nobody by their stories, what they survived, what they've been through, because I've been through a situation where I should have died and walked away alive, unscathed, unmarked, uncut, and have lived my life for another 25 years since. And there have been other instances. I know there's a lot of talk about this one lone survivor, this Air India crash, and a lot of skeptics, a lot of people talking about conspiracy theories. I'm big on conspiracy theories. If you look at my page, you see I got Mandela effects and all kinds of other stuff on my page. But when it comes to miracles, when it comes to God's presence, when it comes to being saved, I absolutely don't think there's no conspiracy behind that. Now, there is a place called being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and there is a place called unforeseen occurrences, and I believe in that as well. So I don't believe that God has just saved this man and allow all others to die. I don't think God didn't take the lives of these people. But I believe that if you're in the right place at the right time, then God will help you to seize an opportunity to get out. And this man happened to be sitting in the right seat and in the right place at the right time. As far as my situation, I'm still on a search to discover or to find out why my life is continually to be preserved. I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. And I thank God each and every day. So maybe that's why I'm sharing this story with you. Maybe I'm sharing this because maybe there's other people out there that can relate, that has a similar story. Maybe they have never shared. So I'm interested to see what your story is. What's your thing that happened to you where you walked away and nothing could be explained, but it was just a miracle?